Hey everybody, welcome back to T3, the show that answers your questions, give you some tech tips, and also tells you the best use for plumber's tape. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and want to say first off, thank you for being patient. For the past 2 weeks, we have been off the air, a lot of stuff going on. Vacation came up, I was gone for almost over a week, and then on top of that, decided to do an office move into a new studio. If you'll notice, the background's a little different. There's no more windows here. I've actually consolidated everything down into 2 rooms into my office. I've got a studio room, and I've also got the editing room with also full of all the stuff that I review, products piled up. We'll be getting to all those soon, fear not. And I want to thank you guys for supporting me on that Patreon I mentioned last show, on show number 10. And if you guys are interested in helping get the Airsoftology podcast back on the air, you can get a link right here. It'll take you over to the Patreon page. It'll tell you how you can help support the show financially. But enough of that, man. Enough of me yip-yapping. Let's get to this week's questions. Ethan Airsoft writes, what's your favorite airsoft gun? Man, that's like trying to name your favorite kid. I don't have any kids, but still, it's like trying to name your favorite of anything. It's so difficult. It just depends on the day and all that. I mean, I've got a pretty cool one right here that just showed up not too long ago. But I mean, that, the Evo, the Crytac, my Elite Force 4 CRS, and my 4 CRL that I've actually been doing some modifications to for an upcoming video. There's just so many great guns I have in my lineup. It's really hard to say what is my favorite, but I'd say right now for short, like for CQB engagements, I'd definitely say the Evo has taken that. 4 CRL for like kind of just grabbing and going for any of the skirmish games out there. And then for the long games, I've been building a sniper rifle too. I kind of actually, if you guys watched my GI video of the G700 review there, it really got me back in the sniper rifle, so I picked up a Marui VSR-10, so I'm going to have a little bit of a sniper build project coming up here shortly. Genesis Airsoft writes, what program do you use to edit your videos? Well, actually I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm using CS6 right now. I haven't moved over to the Creative Suite, the online version, the cloud version yet. But I use it because it is a bit overkill when you're doing YouTube videos, but I do some other video editing projects and some other stuff on the side, actually as kind of a business as well. So it's really nice to have everything you need in one program and not be really wanting. And if you guys are wanting to get into doing editing videos, you can get a lot of great stuff. There's some good free programs out there, some stuff that's online. Hit Films, I think you can pick up pretty darn cheap. There's a whole bunch of different options, or Premiere Elements, which is actually the light version of this. I actually used that for a while until I got into green screening and it kind of hit the wall and I needed to make the upgrade. But yeah, if you guys are interested in me doing a video talking about how I do my videos and editing, if you guys want to get into YouTube and stuff like that and you want to see me kind of help you guys through and kind of give you the do's and don'ts, let me know in the comments below. If you guys are interested, I'll definitely crank out a video. Skability Gaming writes, can you do a review of the WE Scar L AEG? Do you mean this guy right here? Is this what you're looking for? Yep, actually I have one in-house. Airsoft GI sent it to me actually to do a review on, and I'll be getting this one up probably next week. So you guys be on the lookout here in about 7 to 10 days. Probably be toward the end of next week. I've got to do a little bit more on the studio side of things, but it's pretty much complete. So stay tuned if you guys are interested in seeing the WE Scar L AEG review. Merprius writes, is the 2GX gearbox a bad thing? I've heard they're great at purchase, but they aren't upgradable. My friend is telling me not to go with KWA, but I want your take on it. You know, the KWA mechboxes are really good, and I know a lot of people throw around that proprietary parts thing and, oh, it's not compatible and there's a lot of things going on under the hood that you can't change. And it's really, for the most part, not true, or the rumor's really been blown out of proportion. There are a couple things. For example, the mechbox shell itself is not something you're gonna be able to drop into another gun. So actually the body, the reinforced shell, just because it's so beefy. Aside from that, there's really not many other parts except for like the hop-up and like the hop-up chamber area, because it's a 2-piece hop-up instead of a 1-piece. So everything else under the hood, when you're looking at components, gears, pistons, cylinders, piston heads, air nozzle even, which people tell you it's not, I've swapped them out, no problem, are all interchangeable. So yeah, it's actually a good AEG and a good mech box. I really like what KWA is doing, and you can always upgrade them. So let's say you want to make those gears a beefier set of gears, you can take out their stock gears and put something new in there. So yeah, don't really concern yourself too much about all the rumors you've been hearing about the 2GX mechbox and KWA's proprietary stuff. It really is only just those few parts I mentioned. Everything else is V2 compatible. The G and Jesus writes, are you working on any game playing videos of sorts? I feel like that's something your channel really lacks as of now. Great stuff though. NG, yes, I do agree with you totally, and that's something I've really been working hard on producing. We're gonna start with Ironclad. I'm gonna start a series of gameplay videos from Ironclad, so you get to kind of see it through the eyes of me. I'll be bringing a sniper rifle. I actually did sign up as a sniper role for that event. I'll also probably bring the Evo with me and this pistol and a few other things too. I'm not really sure. I actually might bring the HK417 and run it for a bit as well, depending on how tight the environment is. I think the 417, even though it's a big gun, the barrel isn't that long, and I think it'll do pretty well to be a good balance of indoor, which is that tight CQB, and then outdoor between building to building fighting. So keep your eyes out for that. Probably gonna see it in October though, so kind of be patient on that. I'll let you know right here on this show as we get closer and start releasing that series of videos from the event. Well guys, that's it for this week's questions. And of course, if you want to get your questions on the show and have me answer them, just put them down there in the comment section below, or you can hit me up on Facebook or Twitter. Comments here are probably the best bet. Or if you guys are a little shy, you can always send me like a message or whatever as well. But I do like to see them down here, to see them voted up. And if you see a question down below you like, make sure you do vote that up to get it top of the pile, so I'll get it answered in the next show. But now it's time for another question, and this is in the tech tips section. My M4 uses an aftermarket M4 top and lower receiver, and after times the top receiver starts to wobble. Is there any way to solve this problem? Thanks, Airsoftology. Hope you can solve this. All right, so I know exactly what you're talking about here. It's actually a common issue in a lot of M4s out there. Over time, or even brand new out of the box, you're gonna get that wobble between the upper and the lower receiver. Now this, like, of course, is brand new, so you're not gonna really have that issue. I mean, it's pretty solid right here all together. I mean, the only thing you can hear is the metal suppressor that's integrated here rattling against the metal rail. But as for a wobble between the upper and lower receiver, there really is none, even though this is a polymer body on this gun. But what the problem is, when you have that receiver wobble, it's right here, really, it's around, I'm gonna close that, this body pin. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. The front body pin gets a little loose. There's some play in there, and you really got to take up that slack and tighten up. And for the most part, that's going to solve your problem. The only other place you're going to find is the back of the upper receiver here, right where like the charging handle is below it. You're going to see, like, there you might have a little play if it's been dented or bent, but it depends on the type of gun. Some of these will hinge open, so when you pop them, they'll do this, and then some slide off. This one actually slides off. I found that most of the wobbles seems to be in the guns where the receiver or the upper receiver slides off the front of the gun. So there are a couple fixes, and the first one is called the Magic Pin set. And if you guys haven't seen the Magic Pin before, it's actually a replacement for this pin right here. And what it does is you take this one out, you put the new one in, and it has a little hex screw on it. You tighten it up, and there's two parts inside of it. RA Tech makes one, and G&P make one as well. So you can have a couple different companies to choose from for these Magic Pins. And it actually compresses the two parts of that pin, making it wider and tightening this whole front section of your gun up. And it's gonna get rid of that wobble by doing that. Now the other way is the cheap way, and let me spin around back here real quick. And it's using this stuff right here, this Teflon tape, this plumber's tape. Now what you can do on that is, when you're looking at these receivers here, and I'm gonna cut a couple seconds and get this one popped open for you. Okay, so what you're looking at is this piece right here, and I don't know if you guys can, maybe a little blurry since it's out of focus here. It's this little bar, this is where the pin goes through, and this is the pin I was showing you too. You take this one out and you replace it with the other pin. But on this one, you're gonna wanna shore up this piece right here. What happens is, over time, it gets a little play between it, let me reach down here, and this receiver right here. So what you want to do is kind of just add some tightness. So what you'll do is you'll take this tape, you'll pop some out, and it's really thin tape. I love this stuff. It's Teflon tape, as they call it, or whatever. And you can pick it up for like $1 and some change at your local hardware shop. And it's stretchy and super thin. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take it and you're gonna wrap it around this little post. So I don't know if you guys can see there. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna give it a couple quick wraps, kind of tightening it down in there, and just run it around. And the idea here is to build it up. And a buddy of mine showed me this trick a long time ago who's a tech. It works out pretty good to shore up most of these as long as you do it. And it's kind of tough to get it down on this one because the way the rail system is, but most of them it's gonna be a lot easier. So what you're trying to do is, after a little while, is something like that. Let me tighten this one up out of the way. So what you're looking for is to shim this area, adding a little bit of thickness, and I want to tuck all that down and around. So now when you put the two pieces together, and make sure this is all kind of out of the way once you get it wrapped, it'll all mate in. So when you put the two parts together like this, it now adds some stiffness here and adds a little thickness. It takes just a couple wraps, put a couple on, try it out, put a few more on, try that out. Eventually you're gonna get this thing set up the way you like it, and it should eliminate all the wobble in there, and that is a cheap fix. You're talking about $1 here. The magic pins are right around, I've seen them as cheap as like $8 at Red Wolf, but shipping's a little bit pricey, so you're gonna look about $15 to $20 by the time you pay shipping, unless you can find it at your local shop. So I hope that helps you guys figure out how to get around the dreaded body wobble on a lot of the M4s over time after they kind of break in and they start to wear down and the parts get loose. All right, that's it for tech tips, and you know what time it means now. It's time for that video recommendation of the week. This one comes, it's not Airsoft related, actually it's kind of tactical related, but it comes from FX Hummel, actually a really popular YouTuber, but he had all of his fans send in these videos and made this funny parody music video for You Are Beautiful, I think, and now it's called You Are Tactical, but it's definitely worth a watch. It's actually pretty funny, especially if you go through all the videos they're showing in here. If you've been on the airsoft field enough, you've probably seen most, if not all of these in person, so it does hit close to home for the airsoft world. So yeah guys, check it out, FX Hummel, his channel's right there, and if you like what you see, there's a lot more stuff over there. If you guys are into the shooting stuff or shooting comedy, definitely want to throw a subscribe his way. Well guys, that is it for this show. Thank you so much for watching. As always, remember, comments down below, questions, anything you have, just throw them right down there. And remember, if you want to support Airsoftology, hit up my Patreon account. Link is right over here. It helps this go a long way because we really try to keep the sponsorships to a minimum. Anyway, thanks a bunch, and I'll see you on the next episode of T3.